Virtual tours are amazing. Nowadays, you can take a realistic tour of any place while sitting on the couch on a mobile phone. That's right, VR is now one of the mainstream technologies, and if you are a realtor or a hotel owner, then you should start using virtual tours to your advantage. And the best part, you can actually create virtual tours for free. That's right, there are tools that you can use to create 360 virtual tours absolutely free. Hey everyone, this is Sultan with Rex Theme, and today I'm gonna give you a glimpse of a free virtual tour software that you can start using today and attract your prospects using 360 virtual tours. If you're a realtor trying to sell properties, normally what you do, you offer images or videos of the property for people to take a look, all right? But think about it, large listing sites such as Zillow are also offering 360 virtual tours for people to take a look at properties. Why do you think that is? Because that's exactly what people want, all right? They want to be able to get a realistic experience, not just images to impress them, right? So when you have your own website and listing your properties there, what you can do is you can create 360 virtual tours of all your properties and place them instead of images for people to take a look at the property, right? You can still keep images there, but giving a virtual tour will let people get an idea of how the place would be when they actually visit the place. So when they contact you, they'll already have made some sort of decision about it, all right? They would have a positive impression, and you'll get calls from people that are already interested in the place. So that's a huge advantage for you. Now, if you're a hotel or a resort owner, you would want people to, book your hotel when they visit your area, right? And what do you think people do when they look for hotels and resorts? They look into the price, they look into the quality, they look into the luxury, they look into all the facilities they get, all right? Now, the pricing is something that's in your control, obviously, but that's not the only deciding factor. You can attract people to pay more if you show them that you have more quality and more things to offer. So what you can do is you can create a 360 virtual tour highlighting all your specialties, maybe the swimming pool, the rooftop view, maybe the ballroom or the gym. At the same time, you can also, create virtual tours of the rooms or suites you're renting out, so they know the sort of luxury they're signing up for. All right. So that's exactly how you can use 360 virtual tours to your advantage. And no matter the industry, right, in virtual tours, you can add additional information. You can let people interact with hotspots where they can click to get additional information, and you can let them, move from different scenes from one scene to another. That's possible in modern day virtual tours. All right. Now, in the next few minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can use this free virtual tour software that we call WPVR to create amazing virtual tours, high quality virtual tours to attract your prospects. All right. Now, all you will need is a WordPress site, because this is a WordPress plugin, and you'll need to be able to capture 360 images. All right. So you can use a 360 camera to capture panoramic images of your location. And once you have the images, simply upload it into WPVR and it will turn them into a virtual tour. All right. And then you have more control. You can include hotspots. You can decide where you want to give information and how you want to connect the scenes, letting people move from one scene to another. You can do all of that using this free tool. All right. So let's take a look at WPVR and how you can use it easily. And trust me, as I said, this is free. People think creating virtual tours is expensive, but this is absolutely free. And it's so easy. You don't need to be technical about it. It's super easy. You're going to see in a few minutes why am I saying that over and over again, because you're really going to like it. All right. So let's take a look at WPVR. Okay. So first, I'm going to show you how you can install this tool into your website. So what you do is you go to your WordPress site and hover on plugins and then click on add plugin. And here on the top right side, search for WPVR. There you go. This is the plugin you're going to get. So click on install now. And then click on activate. Once you activate, it's going to take you to a setup wizard. I'm just going to skip that part, and you can see in the dashboard that I have WPVR installed and activated. So when you install and activate it, you can go to tours and you can see that one virtual tour has already been created. Let me edit that. And you can see that there are scenes added to this virtual tour. On the right side, there is a preview of the tour. And let me show you by moving across the tour. I can click, move. I can click and drag this scene to move around, right? And there are buttons to click. If I click on this, it's going to take me to the stairs. And you can see if I on hover it, there is some image place and some text information there. right? Then there are other sections where I can hover and get information, right? So this is exactly the type of tool that you can create using WPVR. All right, now this is already built, so you don't know how this was created. It might still be complicated, right? But don't worry, it's actually quite simple. Let me quickly show you by creating a similar tool to this one using the same images, so that you know how you can get started with this. All right, so let's go to WPVR and click on add new tool, and this is going to start creating a new tool. So I'll just name it my house. Okay, and initially what you need to do is you need to add your 360 images as scenes in the virtual tour. So you're on the tab called scenes. Here by default a scene is created which is blank. So what I have to do is I need to click on upload, and then upload a panoramic image. So I have these 4 images here already. I'm going to choose this one and click on select, and there you go. This scene is created. Okay, and now on the right side on the preview, if I click, hold and drag, you can see I'm moving just like in a virtual tour, as if I'm looking through this place in real life, right? Similar to this, I can add multiple scenes. On the top side you can click on plus, and here this will let you add another scene. So click on upload and then upload the second image. So let's upload this one, and click on select, and there you go. The second scene is added, and you can see on the right side again there's a preview of the second scene. All right, now these are 2 different scenes, and you would want to be able to connect these 2 so that people can move from one scene to another, right? So what you do is let's go to the first scene. Okay, and while on this scene, let's go to hotspot, and let's give a name to this hotspot, HP1. Okay, and what I want is that on the living room, when someone looks at the stairs, they have an option to click so that they can go up the stairs. So I'm just going to click over here. Let's say this is where I want the icon, and then just below this preview you can see there is something called pitch and yaw. So on the right side of this is an icon. Let's click on that, and you can see that on the left under hotspot this pitch and yaw has been placed. So these are the coordinations where the icon will be placed, right? And on the hotspot settings you can see there is a hotspot type option. Let's change this to scene. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'm going to choose a scene. So this is the first scene. What I'm going to choose is the second scene to move on to when they click on that icon. All right, let's click on preview, and there you go. Now let's turn around, and you can see that on the stair there is an icon which has an arrow. This usually means it's a scene type hotspot. So if I click on this, you can see I've been moved to the stairs. So I've moved up the stairs when I clicked on that icon. All right, so what I did was I placed a hotspot so that someone can click to go to the second scene. All right, now let's move on to the scenes and choose the second scene. Now what I want is from the second scene, I want someone to be able to click over here to go back to the living room, right? So that's how you make a realistic journey, right? You need an option to go back as well. So what you do is while on scene 2, you go to hotspot, all right? And here you can see that for this, it has a dedicated set of hotspots. So let me name it HP2, okay? And in the same way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose where I want the icon to be. Let's say over here, and I'll click on this icon just below the preview. And you can see the pitch and yaw is placed. Again, the hotspot type has to be changed to scene, and I need to choose the first scene this time. So once I've selected, I'll click on preview, and on the preview, you can see that now that arrow icon is here. So if I click on this, it's taking me to the living room. Let's move around and click on that, and it's taking me up the stairs. So that's how easily you can add 2 scenes and connect them, and you can add many more scenes, all right, just like I showed you in the one that was already created. So this is very simple, right? You just added a 360 panoramic image and then connected 2 scenes. This is already a very intuitive virtual tour. They can see how the house is. They can already make a pretty much average decision on it, right? Now the next thing is giving information into the tour. You want this to be more interactive. Like when someone would enter the house, they would probably ask you a few questions, right? What if you could answer some of them about the house while on this tour? So let's say they want to ask about, hey, what wood is used creating the floor, right? So if this is created with pine wood, you'd want them to know that, okay, this is a pine wood flooring, right? So let's say you want this to be mentioned in an icon over here. Okay, so what you do is first let's go to scenes and go to the first scene. Then let's look at the floor, right? Let's say this is where I want the icon, and let's go to hotspots and let's add a hotspot. and this time I'll name it HP3. Okay, and now on this preview, this is where I want the icon to be placed, where people can hover to know information about this flooring. So I'll click over here and click on this icon, and the hotspot icon should be placed. You can see it right over there. Now for this one, I want to keep it as hotspot type as info. All right, and then you can see it says on click content and on hover content. So on click is when someone clicks and they get information. On hover is when they hover and the information will appear. So I want it to be on hover, and let's write pine flooring. All right, so there you go. So that's the on hover content. So I'll click on preview, and then let's see if it worked. So let me just hover on it, and you can see it says pine flooring. So that's how easy it is to add information to the virtual tour. All right, and apart from these things, all right, there are many other features you get, which you can go to settings and check out. You can see there are some basic settings such as scene fade duration. You can choose how long it takes for people to move from one scene to another. You can add auto rotation. So when you place it on your website, you can set it to auto rotate in a slow pace, so that the virtual tour can get people's attention when they first enter and see this. Then there are some advanced control, which is in the premium plugin. But apart from that, you can also add a preview image. So when you place the tour on your site, maybe you don't want it to load by default. You want it to have a different image where people will click to view the virtual tour. So this is where you add that. So similarly, there are so many other features available in WPVR, and this is a free plugin. Here you can do a lot of stuff with the free one. You can create a whole virtual tour with up to 5 scenes and 5 hotspots in each scene, and you can create up to 5 virtual tours. So those are more than enough for most of you to highlight your best parts of your hotel or the best properties you have in your listing. So you can easily create that using WPVR for free in WordPress. And once your virtual tour is ready, you can simply copy this short code and place it on any page you want all over your website. All right, or if you're using Elementor or Gutenberg or one of the supported page builders, then you would get their dedicated widgets or blocks where you can just choose the virtual tours from. All right, so you have all of those options. All right, now what I showed you is the free version of the tool. It itself looked pretty premium, right? It looks quite nice. The virtual tour itself is pretty standard. You can use that actively. Right, now here's the game. Once you have these ones in place, if you're ready to take it to the next level, you can work on making the tours more attractive. All right, let me give you a glimpse of how that looks. So this is a similar tour that we have on our website. We have created using WPVR, but this is using premium WPVR. So here you can see that there's a different layout over this. You can see different icons. You can see there's information over here. I have placed my logo over here as well. I can move about similar to that one, but you can see all my icons are customized. I have a different color and I have different icons to meet the right purposes. All right, so all of those I can get in WPVR Premium. All right, at the same time, you can see there is more features over there. I can click on this to get a floor map. You can see this is pretty much a live floor map. All right, I can also enable gyroscope and also view the tour using a Google Cardboard. I can do all of that if I have WPVR Pro. So in case you want to make your virtual tour even more fancy, more attractive, you can use WPVR Pro, but that's totally up to you. What I recommend is at least try the WPVR free version. It's already great in itself. And then when you're ready to take your virtual tours to the next level, you can then consider going to WPVR Pro. But overall, with the free version itself, you can do a lot. All right, you can create your virtual tours and start doing business right away. And as I said, that itself looks premium. In case you want more control, that's when you go for WPVR Pro, right? So that's just about it. I showed you how WPVR free works. You can easily use this. It's not at all complicated. But again, if you need help, you can always reach out to the team, right? But this is absolutely free. As a realtor or a hotel owner, this is the perfect tool you can go ahead and start using right away without any investment. And then you can decide, okay, how much I want to make it better. All right. So that's it from me today. I'll see you in one of my future videos.